I... Okay. Okay, Dane. Okay, now it's still ringing here. Okay, maybe I will call him. Let me call him again. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, now I got you. Hey!
Hey, Hans.
Hey, how are you? Good morning. I say. I don't even know what time is it. It's 1:07 p.m. Here in Mexico City. What time is it in your country?
11 a.m. You're right.
Okay. Yeah. Then good morning to you. Thanks for joining that live stream here. You're already live. I'm live streaming everything here. So yeah, welcome to the Green Day Reloaded.
Thank you, Hans. Thanks for all you're trying to do to sound the alarm.
It's an honor to have you here because I saw a lot of videos and I shared it also on my Facebook wall. And now you're finally there, so it's excellent. Thank you so much for being here. So for the new people who not even know who are you, introduce. Well, would be a great idea to introduce yourself first, so they know who you are, and then let's go to the topic. You know.
Thanks, Hans. My name is Dane Wigington. I'm the administrator and lead researcher for geoengineeringwatch.org. The purpose of our site is simply to sound the alarm on the global climate engineering programs. This is not a job I wanted, Hans.
Yeah.
That's simply one that I felt I couldn't turn away from. And as I moved to the Pacific Northwest in 2001, thinking I would find clean air, clean skies, off-grid homes, solar power. That's my background in solar power with Bechtel Power Corporation, going back a long way, a company I left because of immorality that I saw in the company. But I started to lose huge amounts of my solar power from what these aircraft were leaving behind in the sky. Clearly something was going on, grid patterns, and I started to research this issue, was shocked to find out how much data there was about climate engineering, and was surprised I had not heard about it. Began to do testing, water testing, precipitation at the state certified lab. I had hoped I would not find the materials listed in climate engineering patents, but I did, and aluminum being a primary element. And as the test showed increasing amounts of metal, skyrocketing amounts of metal, in fact, quite simply, there was no other choice but to try to address exposing this issue, because it's poisoning the entire planet, Hans, as you know, and destroying ecosystems. And anyway, that's how I find myself in this place. I've been at it for 10 years, and I'll keep up until our skies are clean, or until I take my last breath.
Yes, no, that's great that you are doing this, because I mean I feel like you in the past I didn't know about anything of this. I even thought those people who are putting the pictures of the chemtrails and everything, I thought they're nuts, you know. I mean I was still sleeping until I finally woke up and I see it now, and it's absolutely true, because thanks to my brain, I can remember how skies looked in the past. You know, I'm 50 years old now, so I mean, in the past, you know, I got a telescope, like a Christmas present or gift, or how you call it. And I was, of course, looking at night at stars and at the moon, and at day I was chasing planes. So I know exactly how those trails looked in the past and how they are looking now. I mean, this is totally crazy view what we have now, because they are getting so fat. They're, I mean, the whole color of the skies has changed. So I think there's really something very true on it, on this, and we have to know what it is and why they're doing that. I mean, what did you found out? Because you're more years investigating this than me, so you know a little bit more than me, of course. And I would like to know, or to, I mean, I give you the word to the world now, and tell the people what is really going on. What do you found out about this?
First, in regard to how the skies appear,
Yeah.
it's astounding to me how few people have noticed blue skies almost don't exist anymore, and the vast majority of the population cannot recognize a natural cloud from a sky filled with toxic haze. The skies look like something from another planet,
Right.
in most cases today, and it's so pervasive now, Hans, that most don't even recognize the changes that have occurred. Whether you're watching films from various parts of the world, or any photography or magazine articles, there's almost never a blue sky.
Right.
As far as what they're doing, again, there's a long history here, and there's a certain amount of confusion about how long these programs have been going on. We know they've been going on since the late 40s on a significant scale. Big ramp-ups along the way. 98, 99 was probably the biggest ramp-up, and that was 98 was the warmest year recorded, and that's the point in time that they implemented the term climate change as opposed to global warming, because they knew they would be causing massive fluctuations in the climate. So you have to look at the certain key terms that they try to implement. As far as the overall goal, Hans, again, there are many agendas, many being carried out, and too many people are trying to put it into one box or another box. A lot of issues going on here. Weather warfare, and certainly the stated goal of solar radiation management to block some of the sun's incoming thermal energy. But we know, we have enough data now, we have 65 years of it, to know that what they're doing is making a climate situation worse, not better, and it's toxifying the entire planet in the process. But again, like all mechanisms of power, once they're using this, they won't stop. And now that they know they've created so much liability, and the entire population of the planet has been harmed by these programs, the power structure knows if the public becomes aware of this, that they will be looking for who's responsible.
Right. I'm showing also, because you don't have a camera right now, so I'm using also, while you're talking, I'm showing the people some pictures, and you can see chemtrails. I mean, I'm checking out even movies now. I'm watching closer to the movies and commercials, and they're putting chemtrails there. They don't want a perfect sky. They don't want to have a blue sky now anymore. They want that the people accept all this. Even a dinosaur picture, they put a chemtrail. I mean, imagine. I found that on the internet. I think what is, I mean, there, at that time where dinosaurs lived on the planet, there wasn't even planes there. But so people think it's something so normal, you know, that in video games, they're putting that in the video games, for example. This is Farm Frenzy 4 official trailer. They're everywhere they are putting now chemtrails. Right in opening, it's another, I think, animation movie, etc. They're putting chemtrails everywhere, and when you see some pictures, this is something what people made. I don't know if you can see the pictures here, what I'm showing.
I see clearly, yeah, and you're exactly right. This is conditioning to the population. I mean, they want this to be completely a part of people's perception of reality.
Yeah, this is some. I mean, or look here again. You see those chemtrails everywhere. I mean, when you see this, I mean, that is really. You cannot deny that. I mean, this is not normal sky. This was taken, this picture in Amsterdam, Netherlands. I mean, this is not even a contrail, you know. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. There's something really going on. This is a Mexican movie. They are also here putting that in Mexican movies. The name is Casi 30, that means almost 30. in the 30 years, and they're putting also this on the film posters. This is actually the poster of the movie, and there are the planes with the chemtrails, and the skies also. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, if I would be a director of a movie, I would like to make it beautiful with a nice sky, with nice fluffy clouds, for example. This is despega.com. This is a traveling site to go to Paris, for example, and they're putting also the sky, because of course they're spraying over there so that people don't get shocked when they're really in France, for example, and because they saw it already in the advertisement, whatever. They see that, and so when they're actually there, they will see it live, you know. Here another one, launch trailer, Grow Home. This is a video game, also over there. Even if it's not a plane, they are putting that, so everybody get the input that there has to be something in the sky like this. Or here, this is Sim City. This is a video game also. They're putting that also here. I mean, there's so many. I mean, this is a real picture. That's from I don't know where it was taken. Someone sent it to me. This is an advertisement of milk. They're putting also the new kind of skies, the new clouds I never have seen before in my life, in the past. And this is an old commercial. Here it's still dark blue sky with other kind of clouds. It's the same as Alpura, as a brand of milk here in Mexico, and this is the new one. So they changed everything. They put the sky not that blue anymore, and those kind of strange clouds and whatever, and the chemtrails over.
It's a great photo gallery. This is a great photo gallery you have.
Yeah.
It's the same in many countries. I mean, you just can't find a picture of blue sky anymore.
Yeah. There's also a program, an app, for example, you can install on your cell phones. The name is Yo Window. Yo Window is like a program where you can see the actual weather. And there, I installed that program and make a screenshot of it. And there's a virtual plane flying, leaving a chemtrail, even in the virtual forecast for weather, for example. They're putting a plane with a chemtrail there, you know. Or here it's a video game. The name of this video game is War Game. Also, you can see in the background the trails here. Here it's close up. It's a little bit bigger that you can see it. I mean, so people get brainwashed already. There's a artist. The name is Moby. I don't know if you know the music. He sings great. It's a great singer, and he made some music for soundtracks. And also in the video clips, it's not just in commercials, it's in video clips, music video clips, for example. This is, in the world we are spraying. Okay, I took a screenshot of this one that people can see. I mean, this is not a ice crystal thing, you know. Okay.
No, and the entire background in that picture was aerosol spray. This is where, on the weather here, Hans, because the weather is coming for the National Weather Service and NOAA, is done by Raytheon, defense contractor Raytheon, who's one of the major geoengineering players. When they call for mostly sunny skies, that inevitably means no real clouds, no natural clouds, only spray.
Right. I'm taking also pictures frequently from my home, and they're flying over my home, you know. I mean, it's sometimes I think they do it just for me, to poison me, you know. And I say, when I see those trails in the sky, I take a picture, I post it on Facebook, I say, hey, look, I got another one, for example, you know. And the sky also in Mexico looks weird, really weird. Since a long time, we don't see really fluffy clouds anymore. It's just strange clouds formation, like you said, that looks like from another planet, you know. When I see that, I think, do I live still on Earth, or are they making a different atmosphere up for other beings? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, you know.
We see on the radar, crazy. Mexico gets hit very hard.
Yeah.
It's very visible on the radar. And also back to the question of, again, what are the various things they're accomplishing here, Hans? Over the ocean, we believe that iron ocean fertilization is going on as a part of the aerosol operations as well. And so I'll be publishing an article on this later today or in the morning.
Okay.
We have science study now that we have found that explores the use of toxic steel production slag material being used for ocean iron fertilization. Large amounts of bioavailable iron are being detected over the ocean. So it appears that as part of their spraying mix for solar radiation management, when they're spraying in the skies to block the sun, the mix is compatible. It's all toxic, but it's compatible for their ocean fertilization programs as well. So when that mix falls down and settles on the surface of the ocean, the bioavailable iron that's in that mix they're trying to create plankton blooms. But of course, when you create this, even though the plankton absorbs a certain percentage of CO2, that's acidifying the oceans. We know the Pacific Ocean is collapsing. Oceans around the globe are collapsing. We have dead zones everywhere. So again, the more that the climate engineers and the power structure try to intervene with the natural systems with these completely toxic elements, it can only harm. And that's what it's doing. It's harming everything. The biosphere is virtually collapsing as we speak.
Exactly. And you see that also in Mexico, trees are dying. I mean, it's not just that people are getting sick. They with the I call it now the chem flu, because I mean, when you get sick with some kind of flu, the people, they still think it's because it's getting colder. But I mean, in Germany it's even more colder, and I was living so many years also in Germany, 27 years before I immigrated to Mexico, and I didn't get sick always when it was getting colder, you know. But now, just a little bit, it's getting colder, and people are coughing, they're getting sick, and that's why I call it the chem flu, because how you can sick if you don't have contact with someone who is sick, who infects you in person, for example, like a virus. So the only possibility to get something in the body is eating, drinking, or breathing. It's the only input that you get something in your body, and then from that you can get sick. So if you're eating good and drinking healthy, I mean, you not even can trust the water what they're doing. Today I was interviewing a guy from Spain, and he told me that they found out many chemicals in bottled water, for example. So, but I myself, I try to eat nothing strange. Let's say everything packed from I don't know, from stores, etc. So, or even better, some fruits, whatever, natural food. So, I mean, I don't work too much outside, so nobody can infect me with a virus, and sometimes I'm coughing without having contact with anybody, and I'm coughing. It's just from one day to the other day I'm coughing, and I not even left home. So why I'm coughing? Okay, I was outside, I was taking a picture of a chemtrail, maybe I was breathing in something and that made me cough. It's not a flu, and I don't like to get a vaccine for something which I not even know where I got it from, because the vaccines are also very criticized. People say that they harm you more than they help you, for example. So, and in the past, I mean, I didn't get vaccinated, and I never got sick many years ago. So now there are even people dying taking vaccines. So you cannot trust anything in these times, you know. You go to a doctor, the doctor says, okay, I hear you're coughing, take that medicine. They not even take blood examples anymore. They just see that and want to sell you some medicine. So I mean, it's just business between the pharmaceutical industry and the doctors. They're only those people are getting rich from you, but you're taking, I don't know, maybe even more poison than you're breathing. I don't know. I don't trust any medicine. I don't trust any vaccines anymore, and I don't know. This world is just so wrong, you know. I mean,
it's a circus of insanity.
Right.
That's the best term I can put to it. And I agree with you on all counts. And on the coughing, the inflammation that's caused by the constant exposure to these particulates, very cumulative. It's horrifically harmful, and we know that a lot of the respiratory issues that are happening now, Hans, are fungally related.
Yeah.
We know that of the 200 plus species of plant and animal that are going extinct every single day, 200 plus species a day going extinct.
Incredible.
That's 10,000 times the background extinction rates. 70 to 80% of that is fungally related. So as you kill the beneficial microorganisms, whether they're atmospheric organisms, soil organisms, and these negative elements take over, fungal elements, just like with the human body, Hans, as you stated with the medical field, when they give you antibiotics for anything, and it kills off the beneficial microorganisms in your body, and then fungus ensues, and this is common. So again, we're back to the same equation that you can only harm these natural systems, and the single greatest source of harm on every level globally can be traced back to climate engineering. And not the only source. The human race has decimated the planet from too many directions to even begin to calculate. But if we look at the most all-encompassing issue, climate engineering is inarguably the biggest, most destructive single factor of all.
Yep.
And that's why we're focused so hard on exposing that, because I believe in doing so, we will expose the power structure for what they are. We will make it clear to populations that not only are they expendable, they're a liability to the power structure, and every single one of them has been harmed horrifically by these programs, irreparably. So again, if we could expose this one issue, Hans, I would argue that the dominoes of the power structure, the foundation of the power structure, would begin to crumble rapidly.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to expose the truth. I mean, this is why I'm doing also these kind of live streams. In the past, I did a lot with other researchers, with you know, also Sylvain Henry, for example. He did a great job with the mass demand marathon live streams, etc. And I was part of many other live streams too, and I did also a lot of live streams with Russ Tanner, who has also his website. I mean, we are so many people who knows what's actually going on, but I ask myself, even if we are doing all this job, the people, maybe they're watching it, but many people not even share that. I mean, I mean, when I see that people are in danger, that the species are dying, whatever, I mean, for me, I have to share that. I mean, now I'm making that video here, and immediately when we are finished, I will upload it to YouTube and start sharing it, because I feel that I have to tell to wake up other people. But many people, they, even if they see in Facebook, for example, they not even put a like anymore. I mean, maybe they're getting afraid, or they think if they share that their friends will see them like crazies or whatever. I mean, we need to wake up the people. I don't know what else to do. I'm doing this since so many years that sometimes I say, why I'm doing this? Nobody is listening. They know they're getting killed or getting sick because of this shit, you know. And I mean, we really have to, I don't know, to make some more action here, to make manifestations or a worldwide event. I don't know what else to do. Do you have any plans how we can wake up the people, how we can stop that? Because we are talking about this for years, and we have to do something more.
You bring up very, very important points, Hans. First, I want to, on the Facebook issue, we know that we are being hampered by Facebook, YouTube. They control accounts. In fact, last Tuesday, on February, I believe the 10th, we had about 36 major media sources put articles out on geoengineering on that day. And on that day, on my Facebook pages, where we usually have a reach of 40,000 in that range, it dropped about 90%. We got comments from people they could not share. Facebook would not let them share, would not let them like. So we know that's one part of the problem. A 90% drop is an astronomical drop. I mean, we're down to
that's a lot.
From 40,000, we're down to 3,000 or 4,000, and there's no other reason for it. And the fact that it's timed on that exact day when all these articles came out, and people, when you Google geoengineering, the second thing you come to is our website. And so we know we're being hampered in that way. But on the points you made, those are extremely valid also. We have a lot of people who are not engaging in this battle because they simply feel, unless they're guaranteed a specific happy ending, they won't try. Unless they feel they know they can succeed, they won't even try. And I would argue that as being not a moral position. It's our responsibility to try, no matter how great the challenge,
Exactly.
no matter how dark the horizon, no matter how small our chances are. How can we know what good we would have done unless we try? And
Exactly.
people need to engage. And for every single person that you wake up, or that you have any part in waking up, or me or anybody else,
Hmm.
that should matter by itself. That
Right.
if we're helping people to wake up and expand their consciousness, and we're joining together, if we continue that cycle, we will reach critical mass. We will have a chance of changing the flavor of what we face. No, we can't go back in certain ways. The planet's been damaged beyond
Hmm.
recovery to what it once was, but might we still salvage the planet's ability to sustain life? We won't know unless we try. So I agree with you. Too many people are simply going about their daily life, and they're not engaging in this fight. This should
Hmm.
be an absolute total priority. If you care about your children, if you care about yourself, about anything, there's really no excuse not to engage in this battle fully.
That's totally true what you said. And for example, here Mexico is very famous because of the machos. You know, the men are very. I mean, they're. If you're, for example, you're insulting their girlfriend or their wife, or you're um, I don't know, you like to steal a girlfriend of a guy. That guy, he really goes out and punches you and everything. I mean, this is just if you do something. But uh, I was thinking, okay, if I tell the Mexicans, for example, you're getting sprayed, they're spraying your wife, your girlfriend. They should get so bad and so violent, but not. You know, I mean, it's like a contradiction. You know, I mean, if you're insulting someone, they say, "What you say? You want to fight, man?" and whatever. You know. But if you tell them, no, no, it's not me, it's the chemtrails, they are killing you and your wife and your kids, they, it seems they don't care. So I mean, I don't know what's going on in the minds of the people. I try to wake them up every day. When I talk to them, I even made a video with a neighbor. I say, "Hey, vámonos, let's go to the roof. I will show you something." Okay, there was a big chemtrail, and I say, "Look at the sky. Do you see something?" And he say, "No." What? They not even see it, you know. They then I say this one, and they say, "Ah, no, this is from a plane," and I say, you don't know what that is, and then I explain him. But at the moment, he looked at me, okay, like I don't care, you know. So people really have to understand that is really something going on, because if not, they're just, I mean, if you don't do anything, it's like giving them permission to continue their work, you know, because it's like, yeah, open them the door, because if you don't do some action, etc., it's like, yeah, nothing will change ever, you know. So I hope
You're
people.
exactly right. On all counts, I fully agree with you. I think for a lot of people, it simply
Yeah.
it doesn't fit into their reality,
Uh-huh.
but it will. And for every person you've tried to wake up, you've at least planted a seed.
Right.
And when they are no longer able to maintain the reality they've known, and they are forced to face this issue, which I would argue is very, very close,
Uh-huh.
then the seeds you've planted will sprout. It will matter. And so for all of us that are still sowing seeds, as the biosphere implodes, as it becomes impossible to hide climate engineering,
Yeah.
if we've raised awareness enough, when this forced awakening happens, the
Mm-hmm.
work we've done will bear fruit at that time.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, no, I mean, what I can recommend all the people is at least talk about it. I mean, when there's, for example, a party, not just talk about cars, about football, about the girls, whatever. Also take or talk about what's actually going on, for example, because many people. I mean, I got also interested in the past. The first time when I heard it, I really thought they are crazy, but I didn't close everything here. You know, I said, okay, there's a little chance. Okay, let me know. Okay, I will research, and then I really found out so many things that is really that I am convinced that it's true. For me, it's not anymore a conspiracy theory, etc. I mean, for me, that is clear. Just watching those pictures, you can, I mean, it's logical. This is not a normal trail. This is not even a contrail. This is just chemicals, and I don't know. I mean, this is, I mean, the people really have to understand that, you know.
They do, and they won't have a choice for much longer. Again,
yeah, time is
the gravity of what we face is so immediate and so immense. There won't be any way to hide this for much longer. The entire system, the entire industrialized civilization system is like a snake eating its own tail at this point. They're propping up the economy. They're doing everything they can to hide the true gravity of damage to the biosphere, the climate system, while at the same time, the mechanisms they're using, geoengineering, to hide some of the damage already done is adding to that damage. They're using the same processes and programs that have caused much of the damage to hide that damage. Just like, Hans, an example I use a lot in the Gulf of Mexico, you remember the major oil spill some years back, the Macondo spill.
Of course.
So they use the chemical Corexit. If your listeners haven't heard of what that is, it's a chemical that's banned throughout the globe, but they use that chemical to help hide the gravity of that spill. And that chemical made the situation, by some environmental impact reports, 52 times more toxic, but they used the chemical anyway because it helped to hide the problem. And that's what they're doing right now. And quite simply, if you look at all the various factors that are propping up industrialized civilization right now, they're all at way past their limit. And I would argue that based on available data, we're in for quite a ride from here on out, and we're likely going to see some pretty astounding things soon, because you can't hide things. The Pacific Ocean, again, is dying. You can't find marine life along the whole Pacific coast. I've looked on observational trips recently. You can't find a seal. You can barely find a bird. The starfish are all dead, dying. The vegetation on the rocks is all dying. Animals are washing up on the beach, dead. It's an absolute cataclysm, and yet people are watching football games and American Idol. It's truly, as I said, a circus of insanity, but they will be forced to wake up very, very quickly. So the seeds we're planting still matter.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. The TV with all those shows and Big Brother, and I mean, there's so many soap operas in Mexico, for example. They prefer, or they even believe that the soap operas are true. You know, they're putting so many lies on TV and brainwash the people, and they're not seeing reality anymore. They're living in a fantasy world, you know, and they're believing the fantasy world. Even the news are controlled, manipulated, censored, and whatever. I mean, in my case, I don't even watch TV anymore, because it's just losing your time for something which is not even true, you know. But most of the people are just working. I mean, I see them like kind of slaves, you know. You wake up in the morning, you're tired, you have to go to work, running that you're not late. Then after work, you're walking or running home that you don't miss the soap operas, for example. The women, they're like all day, they want to see the soap operas, no matter how old they are. They're 15 years, 20, 40, they're all watching soap operas, you know. So and they don't take time to go on the internet and check something out, because they're already so close to the TV. And this is the big problem, that the TV is controlling you. That's why I mean, I don't use TV anymore, and now I'm more happy, because when I want to watch a movie, I put the movie. I'm not waiting that they put me a movie what they want that I see, where they maybe include chemtrails, because there are also manipulations of old movies where not even was a chemtrail, and now they're digitally they're putting chemtrails in old movies. I mean, they're manipulating even classic movies. Imagine, I have seen that. Even there's a movie, I think Ben-Hur is the name, very, very old movie, where not even there weren't planes at all at that time with the Romanians and whatever, and they're putting chemtrails. I saw a movie poster with a chemtrail of this. I said, what the hell?
I think that's Spartacus. I think Spartacus is the movie.
Spartacus. I think so, yeah.
Spartacus, yeah. And yeah, that's how bad it is. But again, we're at the point where all the people that have helped to hide this situation, the people in agencies, meteorologists, journalists, we're trying to expose them now, because they are, in our mind, accomplices to this crime. So we have a site called disinformationdirectory.com, where we expose these people, like the meteorologists who go on camera and lie saying this is just a condensation trail. There's no chance that these meteorologists don't know that the weather is being manipulated at this point. So we expose them in that manner. And I would argue that as conditions get rapidly worse, and people in these agencies realize, and I know some of them, I've spoken to them face to face. I've spoken to NOAA scientists who told me, we know these programs are going on. We're alarmed as hell. We have no First Amendment protection. We don't know what to do. So I know that a lot of these people, or most, or even all of them know, as conditions get rapidly worse, as the population begins to wake up, and as these people who are helping to hide the lie realize the public will soon hold them responsible, and perhaps trials resembling the Nuremberg trials, I think some of them are going to start defecting from the power structure, and they're not going to keep lying just for their pension and their paycheck. So again, the more we raise awareness, even if people don't respond right now, as they begin to see that they can't avoid this any longer, I think the ranks of people who are going to help us in this fight will grow rapidly at that time.
Yeah. It's like a snowball effect, you know. When once the people are convinced, then automatically they will say, hey, this is going on. Really? Yes, believe me. And between good friends, you trust your friend. So I mean, there will be the moment for sure. And I mean, I have to think positive. I cannot give up on this fight. And like you said, you were talking to those people. I was for sure, you saw the interview I made with a pilot, a Mexican pilot who admitted chemtrails. And I say, do you know what a chemtrail is? And I say, yes, I do know what a chemtrail is. And he said it's a necessary evil, and I don't know, a lot of things. That video was censored so fast, but thanks that of some other people who I gave the copy that they can publish it on their websites or upload it to YouTube. John Massaria, for example, he made a great edition of it, and I mean, it's still out, the video. I mean, I have the original anyway, but when I published that video, it was censored, and there are trolls. The Haman X, for example, that guy is always commenting on so many videos we are uploading. When you see the name Hammond X, he's a member of that website. I don't know what is the debunk website of the chemtrails, for example. So you see really that there are people. I mean, for me, it's the government, or I don't know who is really or giving them so much money that they are attacking us. I saw them even in some chemtrail groups on Facebook. There are those kind of trolls inside the groups, you know, and I say, I know that guy, he's posting there and denying there and trolling over there. I mean, I think they're getting feared. That's why they are paying people to deny what we are talking about, you know. So I think we are on a good way, because when you see that people are posting against that, that means someone doesn't like what we are saying. So that means we are saying the truth, because if not, I mean, a normal person cannot deny it if he cannot prove the opposite. I want to see really someone who will prove that chemtrails doesn't exist. It's not possible.
Well, this is how absurd the whole quote unquote argument is. When we have film footage of these tankers at altitude spraying KC-10s, KC-135s, C-17s. We have a couple new models of tankers about to be released as well that they're going to add to the fleet. But when we have film of these tankers at altitude spraying, turning on and off, that's the end of the argument. Right. The video you did in the cockpit of the airline was quite good. I always appreciated that video, and I salute you for making that. But again, this is how ludicrous it is for anyone to deny this, that we have film of it happening. We know the same materials are showing up on the ground. Any sort of jury trial would be unanimous that this is happening. There's no question. I mean, the data is there. It's beyond reasonable doubt. But Hans, it's just like with 9/11.
Yeah.
When we have buildings that fall at free fall speed. In fact, much of the American public does not know there was a third building. They don't even know about Building 7. Which
Exactly. You ask them.
Was hidden.
They don't know it exactly. And that is the biggest proof ever. There was not a third plane. I mean, there was not impact, and it fell down so controlled, controlled demolition that it's impossible that it was a because of a fire. You know, I mean, those kind of buildings are built to stand there and don't fall like nothing. You know.
Correct. In fact, even building the trade towers themselves were built to take multiple 707 impacts, fully loaded 707s, which is a bigger plane with more impact energy than the plane that hit. There is no chance those buildings could have fallen from a carbon fire. And again, when building 7, as you stated, in 7 seconds for a steel structure high-rise to fall in 7 seconds, and we're told the official story is because of some couches and chairs burning in the first floor. If this was true, anytime someone lights up a cigarette in a high-rise, people should be running for the exits for fear that the whole building's going to collapse. I mean, it's complete insanity, but that's the world we live in, Hans. The whole world is dying around us by the moment. Statistically, we have even mainstream media covering, as of I believe about a month ago, that in the last 40 years, human populations have doubled. Global wildlife populations have declined by nearly 2/3, and this rate is accelerating rapidly. I mean, we are headed for complete global extinction. We're in the 6th great mass extinction now, and still we have people who are completely oblivious, who have seen too many science fiction movies, and who think that we'll all be riding around on hovercrafts in 50 years, and there's no connection to reality. They can't recognize a natural cloud. They can't recognize the walls closing in around them or the noose sucking up around their neck. They just are disconnected from reality.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, you're so right. I mean,
but they won't have that option for long. Again, they won't have that option. We are, I believe, perilously close to the magnitude of what we face not being able to be hidden any longer. And at the moment in time that happens, the moment that critical mass of the population realizes that the party is over, it's truly over at that moment. And I would argue that moment is very close.
Yeah. I don't remember that movie where they, it's a John Carpenter movie. They Live. Yeah, I remember it now. This movie is so old, and all what you see in the movie, almost everything is right now happening. There's even one scene. There's in the background. I don't know if you remember the movie or that scene. They're talking about they're spraying chemical things in the air or something like this. A very small part. I not even remembered that until someone told me. Watch at that minute. There is that part where they're talking about modification of the atmosphere, and the movie is like, I think they made it in the 80s or something. I still saw it when I lived in Germany more than 21 years ago. So there are many clues even in movies. You know, I mean, they're putting them anyway there. Even in video games, like I put some pictures some minutes ago here on the live stream, but also I mean, now you're watching maybe a movie and you don't see what is going on, but then, for example, with the Twin Towers, after something happened, and then you watch other movies from the past, you even see those kind of things. There are even movies that put 9/11s there. So I mean, I think this is a evil plan that they put on propose in movies and cartoons, and even in The Simpsons. I think that there was a chapter. I saw sometime a video on YouTube. They're talking about the Twin Towers and whatever, and I think I don't know. They're planning everything and just playing with us. I don't know what's going on with Hollywood and all these things. What do you think about the movies when they put this kind of thing, the truth there? What do you
Certainly, they're a tool. It's certainly a tool. I mean, we have how much cooperation do we have with Hollywood and the military-industrial complex? I mean, they're completely connected. Whenever whenever Hollywood wants to do some sort of movie that glorifies the military-industrial complex, they're allowed to use helicopters, tanks. I mean, they're joined at the hip. So yes, there is a collaboration there going on, no question. There's another issue, Hans, that I believe the military-industrial complex and the geoengineers did not fully bargain for. The fact that they would help to trigger the methane mass expulsion that's happening in the Arctic right now. So I believe they put a lot of effort into conditioning the populations, thinking they would be able to tech their way out of the damage done to the planet. And of course, the fact that they're sickening populations, dumbing them down, when we're all exposed to aluminum every day, there's no question we're getting dumber by the day, all of us. So I think all these things are part of the overall agenda, but I don't think that they fully bargained for the methane mass expulsion that appears to be happening right now in the Laptev Sea in the Arctic. And the more they try to climate engineer to what appears to be an attempt to slow down that release by blocking the incoming solar radiation in the Arctic, but it's trapping more than it's blocking. It's changing ocean currents. Now warm water is pumping into the Arctic, as really a direct result of climate engineering altering upper level wind patterns, which alters ocean currents. Everything they do, everything simply causes another chain reaction of negative effects.
Right.
And the methane situation is something that people should keep their eye on, because again, that's a factor I don't think the power structure bargained for. I think they know that the ship is torpedoed at this point. It's going down, and the more they try to compensate with spraying or to hide the magnitude of the damage with the spraying, the worse the overall situation is going to be. So I think at this point, Hans, they're actually in a panic, and I think that's certainly in our favor as we see infighting starting with the power structure itself. That's in our favor as well.
Right, right. What I always say is people or mankind shouldn't play God. They shouldn't mess with nature to start with that, because they're manipulating almost everything. I mean, who controls the weather? Controls the people, for example. Who controls the water, the food, controls the people too. So, I mean, and people in power is like what happened with all those dictators. When they have power, or rich people, when they have money, they want always a little bit more, It's like an addiction for them. And so I think all those companies, for example, the pharmaceutical industry like Bayer and everything, who are selling so much medicine, they are getting richer and richer and richer and richer, So that they don't lose the clients, they have to make the people also sick and to sell more. And you see, before the flu is here, for example, in Mexico, you see the commercials right away on TV, buy this, and then you realize you're coughing, and then you remember, you have to buy this kind of medicine, and the business is going on, So I think it's all a plan that they sell, they make the problem and they offer the solution also, So I mean, it's all for me. There's no coincidence anymore. Everything is planned. Another question: what do you think about the famous global warming? Because I don't feel it. I'm fucking cold here. It's so cold. What happened with global warming?
Well, again, we have to look at the overall picture on that. And this is where I hope people look at data. I don't want them to believe me. But if we look at where are they focusing the climate engineering the most intensely, and that is the eastern half of the North American continent. In fact, for the entire 2014 year, the eastern half of the North American continent, which might include some places in Mexico, is the most anomalously below normal in the whole world, in the entire world. So again, I know the people in the east right now are cold, but I want to point out, while they're freezing in Boston, Hans, in Long Beach, 2 days ago in Long Beach, it was 90 degrees.
Wow.
90. In Northern California, we're 85 in the daytime, 60 at night. We're 20 degrees above average day and night. It's been that way for consistently for about the last 2 years, with some exceptions. And the variance we see, for example, 2 days ago in Billings, Montana, which is normally colder than Watertown, New York, the nighttime low was shattered. The high temperature, it's kind of a confusing term. It's called a nighttime low high temperature record. So the nighttime low was 50 degrees above zero, and that shattered the records. I mean, that's a very warm nighttime low for Montana. It was 32 below in Watertown. So you have an 80-degree difference, 80 degrees from the place that should be colder is 80 degrees warmer at night. So again, if you look at the maps, and people can look at this at geoengineeringwatch.org, again, that's our website, comb through some of the data, and you can see, because I post the global maps, that we can see where they're focusing the climate engineering on the most populated areas of the North American continent, And that's at this point a psychological operation, because when the media only covers all the snow, for example, in Boston, lots of snow, how many feet, and they theaterize it, they name the storms, but they don't show you, here's all this snow at sea level in Boston with record warm ocean temperatures, but they don't show you 14,000 feet up in the high Sierras that used to be under 30 feet of snow. There's none, zero. So again, no matter what a person wants to consider the cause of the climate destruction, the fact is the climate is imploding, and climate engineering, we know, is a huge part of that. It's making it worse by the day, and I'm not saying the only part at all, but I simply hope people, instead of looking at headlines or believing me or believing you, I hope they actually look at what's happening on the ground, because the methane release, for example, is a huge factor. If we look at some of the basic building blocks, frozen methane can't release by getting colder. It can only release by getting warmer. In the Bermuda Triangle, for example, Hans, I'm sure you've heard of all the Bermuda Triangle stories, correct? Okay, the ship sinkings and the planes, this is methane release. It's been happening for decades. When methane thaws on the sea floor from slightly warming temperatures, can only be a few degrees, can thaw it and warm it. Methane releases, and that's what causes the ships to sink. It aerates the water like a bottle of champagne. The ships have no buoyancy, they go down. Methane also kills a prop engine. That's why you hear about 4 or 5 propeller-driven fighter aircraft going down. And so this methane's been releasing for a long, long time, and it's because of the warming waters. So I ask people just to look at the bigger picture, avoid headlines that have agendas behind them, and consider the overall data. Because right now the geoengineers and the power structure want us to believe that there's nothing wrong with climate, just like they wanted us to believe there was nothing wrong in the Gulf of Mexico. Couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, I hope people really start to research also. I mean, on the internet, on your website, for example, I saw it myself. I mean, there's a lot of information, and I will also put down the video we are doing right now. I will put down your information, the link of the website, that people actually have it easier to find it. They don't have to write it down. I put the link, so they just have to make a click and they go there and they can watch it and research it, put it in Google, whatever. I mean, that's the great thing of internet. If you know how to use internet, people who are watching this right now, use it. Don't just watch soap operas. Also use something. And I mean, the technology we still have now, internet. Maybe one day they will make the internet kill switch. I have heard about that. When it's too dangerous, they will just turn it off so nobody can even communicate with the people. But right now we still have the opportunity to use the search machine on Google, for example. You will find a lot of information. Even if you just put chemtrails and the pictures, just watch all those pictures you see on Google images, and I mean, then ask yourself, is that a normal sky? Was that in the past when you were young, 10, 20, 30 years younger? I mean, you really can see the difference. There's really something going on. I mean, this is the way I woke up, researching, taking some time, because I thought if this is really true, it's important, not just for me, important for my family, important for my friends, next generations, you know. And now I'm teaching at school, and I try to wake up my pupils I have at school, because they have right. I mean, as a teacher, I see it like an obligation, because, for example, the pupil goes to school, so he's leaving his own education with his parents. So a teacher should have the obligation to educate also that kid, you know, who is going to school, not just put him full with mathematics and data of history, you know, when was the First World War, when it stopped, and when whatever. I mean, you also have to tell him what's actually going on. At least make him curious, that you say, okay, guess what? There's this and this and this. Homework, check it out. I want to learn from you too. I mean, there should be really a good communication between educators or teachers and pupils. Not just going to school, get brainwashed with old history books. They even now, I saw even the new school books, they are putting the lies about the weather and whatever. They're changing everything that they don't see the truth. They put chemtrails like contrails, and I mean, just watch those new school books. When you see them, you see so much bullshit in those books that you see, and actually they're teaching this. The people are believing it, what they're learning, and it's I mean, they're growing up with a lie, you know, growing up with in a fantasy world. I don't know how to explain it, but it's, oh my God. Thanks
They're
that I'm
growing
a
up.
teacher.
The lens that people see the world through, Hans, as you correctly stated, is very colored, very colored by many things, and that's certainly very intentional from the power structure. But again, I would argue that no matter how far people have put their head in the sand, their head will be pulled out very soon. Like it or not, it's going to happen. So the more we hold to an accurate compass heading with accurate data, accurate conclusions that aren't based on ideology in any sense, that the bottom line with climate engineering is it has made a bad climate situation exponentially worse, not better, and it's poisoned the entire planet in the process. That's pretty simple for people to understand. There is no good in climate engineering. There is no benevolence. It is simply a global death sentence that if it continues, again, mathematically speaking, if climate engineering is not stopped, nothing else will matter. And I mean very, very soon. So it's not, and if we can stop it, we certainly aren't out of the woods. Irreparable damage has been done from many directions, including climate engineering. We have great challenges to face. But if we cannot stop climate engineering very soon, again, nothing else will matter, because no matter what else we face, we know it is affecting our ability to think cognitively. We know the effect of these toxic metals on our neurological function, on our cognitive function, and we know we're exposed to it. We know we're breathing it. It's a matter of time before none of us can think clearly, Hans. So again, this is a fight for life, nothing less. It's a fight for life.
Right. And it's now or never. I mean, there's no much time left. And I mean, it's really a pleasure to talk to someone who is awake. I mean, I totally agree what you say. I mean, that there's really, I mean, it's time to wake up. And good, you're woken up, and on YouTube I saw your videos. You have so many thousands of views, and I see people watching that actually. And I think, okay, now what I feel is they're still like sleeping, like an army. They know what's going on, and it just takes maybe like this, and then whoosh, everybody wakes up. Everybody. I mean, we are close to succeed with waking up the people. Because people know it. They have it in the brain.
Very well said. Very well said, Hans. I would agree with you completely on that statement. And I'm waiting for that moment. In the meantime, we keep sowing the seeds, because they will be forced to sprout soon. I'm with you on that completely. And I thank you for everything you're doing, Hans.
Thank you so much
for on the show.
Yes, thank you so much for giving me some time, because I know exactly. I mean, inbox, you told me you have a speech there. You have stuff to do there, and I mean, it's a pleasure, and thank you so much for this hour. It's 56 minutes now. It's excellent. Thank you so much for your time, and I will upload that immediately to YouTube, that people learn about it, because as faster as we spread the truth, as faster we save the planet, you know.
Please, John, send me a link of what you upload. We'll post it in Geoengineering Watch as well, and my deepest gratitude for the effort you're putting out on this particular project. Again, very honored to help, and thank you for everything you're doing, my friend.
Okay, no, thank you again, and as soon as I have the link, I will send it to you by on Facebook inbox, so you have it directly. You can copy it and check it out and post it wherever you want. I mean, I'm a normal person. I'm not such a specialist like you, but I'm awake and I want to help. I am doing this without getting any money, you know. I mean, I spending this doing with love, you know. So that's why I made it on the Green Day Reloaded on the St. Valentine's Day, because I love the planet. I wanna wake the people up. I wanna give them information, everything, and you're a good part of that special day. And thanks so much. And whenever you wanna join again another live stream, you're welcome. I mean, we need people like you.
Thank you, Hans. Thank you again, and I look forward to posting what you ship out to us. And again, no matter how much research we do, without people like you giving us a voice, we would not be able to reach the greater population. So again, my gratitude to you, Hans. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, and
great day.
See you later, my friend. Have a great day, and peace and love. See you later.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I will save that link right now. On this is still here on the Ustream channel, but as soon as possible, you will watch it on YouTube too. So down of that video, I will put the links of Dane, so you can see actually what he's posting, going to his website, and also please research and share it, because sharing is caring. And I mean, this is it. Yeah, I mean, you cannot do more. If you don't have money, for example, to go to certain places, or you're not how you say, you cannot take or do things with more than talking, at least you can pass all this information. I mean, if I would have money, I would print flyers. I would go put it on the cars, you know, on the how you call them, where they clean the windows, you know, like they do it with any flyers of selling other products, you know. I mean, I would do much more, but I'm not rich. I'm the only thing what I can do is talking about this, inviting people like my friend Dane right now. And I know many people who are watching this, they don't have money. I mean, I don't even want donations, nothing like this, but please share, because if I wouldn't exist, that interview wouldn't exist, for example. So less people would know about it. I mean, it's like the snowball. We have, if you want to have a great planet, please share that knowledge. And okay, yeah, that's it. I cannot tell more. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will save that right now. See you later.